Watch that YouTube channel where they travel to different hoods.
That's crazy, but that's the thing. What?
Yeah, I watch it sometimes.
This is what people who do that are not from the hoods. Why would we need to watch that?
I think it's interesting watching white people go into the hood and black people being okay with it. I think it's so interesting because I feel like for, I'll say, safety reasons, you should not allow somebody to come in with a camera and record you and your people, where y'all be hanging out. It just doesn't seem smart to me. So I'm just intrigued by that. And then on top of that, it's like, well, what are you doing since we're here? You know? Like, what are you guys up to? Yeah, is this your block? Welcome to the Hottest Wellness Podcast. I've got time with Cherry ShaKayla.
Here we discuss personal growth, relationships, and healing to become aligned with the best version of ourselves.
What's up, baby?
Hey, girl.
It's giving 1 in a million.
I'm singing the song in my head now.
That was a hit. That was really a hit. That album was good,
vibe.
too.
The whole album was good.
Yeah, she gave us what we needed.
When she was laying on the hood of that car.
Yeah. Give it to us.
Love it. Rest in peace, Aaliyah, you know.
Rip.
You be cracking me up when you say rip. Stop trying to make fetch happen. No, I'm just kidding.
You know what? It's going to catch, just like everything else.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing? I feel like...
Oh, I'm doing that thing again? Sorry. Honestly, I'm just very disappointed by the weather right now.
Disappointed?
Yeah, I hate the winter time, and I especially hate when it's like excruciatingly cold. It's like in a negative here. They canceling school. My car door is frozen shut. I'm just like, how can I survive in this? I can't.
Yeah, they are setting us up. It was literally -8 degrees when I got home last night. I took a picture and everything.
Screenshot insert here.
It's crazy.
Wild. I'm going to have to include it in the post this week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we can get into the epiphany of the week. This week's epiphany is that, you know, we do not have to place our value in what we can do for other people. Like, you are worth more than what you can do, what you can offer, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even what you can accomplish or what you can have. Yeah. I'm so guilty of that. That's why my self-worth is so low right now, because I don't have a job. And that makes me feel like a bum.
You're definitely not a bum.
But that's how I feel.
I get it. But girl, I've seen some bums. They don't do shit. Not even for themselves.
Okay.
And you're putting the work in, you know?
It's good to know. Well, either way, your self-worth is how you value yourself. So only you can decide what is valuable and not valuable to you. And that kind of defines who we are, you know? So, yeah.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Pretty much. And honestly, that kind of applies.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, where there's smoke, there's fire. We can slide into affirmation of the week. This week's affirmation is, your value doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. Yes. So, is there anything you want to say about that, or you just want to get into the main topic?
Let's just get into it because I feel like I'm just going to get read for filth the entire episode.
Okay.
So.
Me too, though. I was reading this like, wow, wow, wow. Like, I've come a way, but still have a way to go. Yeah. What we talking about this week, baby?
I like the way you said that.
My sister probably watching this right now, laughing.
This week, on today, we are talking about people pleasing.
And the bare minimum.
And the bare minimum.
You were so close.
Every time I think I got it.
It's like, I think this is an ongoing thing and I can't tell if she's trolling me or not.
I promise you I'm not. I really thought I had it that time. It's crazy.
What is a people pleaser to you? Are you a people pleaser?
Guilty as charged. A people pleaser is someone that puts others' wants and needs before their own at whatever cost. And yeah.
It's a dangerous game you playing. Okay. So the first thing is that people pleasing is not a disorder. It's just like kind of like a personality type, like, or
that makes it worse.
Actually a trauma response. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can work through that.
Yeah. There are two types of people pleasers. You let us know in the comments which one you are, because everybody's a little bit people pleasery, unless you're a total selfish jerk or a narcissist. The first type of people pleaser is try and help other people all the time and constantly complimenting others in hopes that they get the same treatment back in return from those relationships. Now, I will say, part of this to me is not people pleasing behavior, because if you and your partner have like a relationship based off of intuition, it's like when we started dating, I noticed you were doing certain things and I was like, oh, this is what she wants back from me. It wasn't like I felt like she was trying to get my approval or manipulate me into act a certain way. I just observed her behavior and like, yeah.
Yeah.
So it really just depends on, I feel like, also kind of the type of people you're in relationship with, you know, because it might not be people pleasing at all. The second type of people pleaser is they feel like it's their moral obligation to help others. They can't say no, and they're terribly afraid of offending other people. They like literally be sending them off to say no. It's like they feel so guilty to say no. I've been there, but not anymore. Yeah.
It depends on what it is. It's hard to say no matter what. But if it's something, if in my mind I can be like, well, this is something they don't really need, then I can be okay.
But is that in terms of needing something though? What about like other parts of relationships? Like, say if somebody asked you to go somewhere, was trying to make plans with you, whatever, like.
For that, I think it depends on who's asking.
Mm-hmm.
All of this sounds kind of bad. Like, I've gotten better at saying no to doing things, but it still levels to it.
Yeah, but I should clarify though, it's nothing wrong to saying yes to things that you want to do, that you have the capacity to do, that it doesn't drain you or stress you out to do it. The problem is people pleasers, they'll go out of their way to do shit that they don't have the capacity for in any way, shape, or form. And then now you looking crazy and feel like people using you and abusing you. But then those people who are users and abusers, they say, well, I didn't ask you to do that. I hate them niggas. Everybody has had somebody say that to them at least one time. Like,
that takes me back to a moment where I said to my mom, I didn't ask you to do that. But it was, I feel like she was having a moment where she was tripping as a parent and kind of coming at me like on some ungrateful type stuff. And she brought up that my parents got me a car, like my first car.
mm-hmm.
And I said, I didn't ask you to do that. I still stand on whatever was happening, whatever reason I said that, because I didn't. Whatever I was asking for or saying, I'm pretty sure it was like, that response was invalid. And girl, if you're going to bring it up, I didn't ask you to do that.
I still think it's not okay to say that to people because you didn't ask them not to do it either. You didn't say, hey, no, that's too much. Please don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, but if you bring something, don't bring something up to me. Don't try to put something in my face like that.
Like if they saying like, well, I mean, either way, it's the same thing because the person could be hurt and say like, but I did all these things for you. Or the person could be trying to throw it in your face, but I did all this stuff for you. But either way, like, you didn't stop them from doing it.
I mean, I can't stop what I don't know what's happening.
People pleasers are extremely intuitive. And this is where the trauma response part comes in, is because when you've been in situations before, whether it was previous relationships, how your family was growing up, and your friendships, maybe you didn't feel validated. So you had to do things to get people to like to earn their love or attention, affection. Mm-hmm. And so we think that by doing whatever people need us to do, then as long as you're doing things for them, they'll keep you in your life or they'll see that you have value. And it's like you get used to recognizing people's emotions, how they act, like their behaviors. And so in response to those type of behaviors, you start to become a people pleaser. Like, yeah. People pleasers are generally empathetic. They're super thoughtful. They're very caring people. And they're really like the nice guys of society. But you know how I say, I am kind, but I am not nice. You can't be nice. Because nice people get taken advantage of. You know what I'm saying? Nice people can be manipulative. We know that. We say that all the time about the men who say they're the nice guys. And really they're just, playing this certain character or having this certain behavior in exchange for something, which in that case is for sex. You know what I'm saying? In this case, it's like, oh, because I want to control how people see me. Or, I want to be perfect. I want to be the best at this. So they're going to keep going. Even though they're either unhappy with it, uncomfortable, not capable, just doing stuff.
You got me thinking about my reasons.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure for me it's a self-worth thing.
Mm-hmm. It is. It always comes down to that, I feel. The difference between an empath and a people pleaser is that empaths, they are sensing what's happening versus empaths just generally care about people. I generally care. I can genuinely feel how you're feeling. Mm-hmm. But people pleasers feel like they have to do something about it. Yeah, like you gotta solve other people's problems and stuff like that.
Yikes.
And a lot of times we assume what people want, like, oh, I should just go ahead and do this thing for them because they feeling this way, or like, sometimes we assume like people's position on stuff when we don't really know. It's just like what we're making up in our head. Like I do that all the time to you. You be like, no, girl. Did I say that? And I'll be like, no, you didn't say that.
Throwing all the sass in there. I don't be talking like.
You don't be sassy?
Not all the time.
That's why they call you all the Lion Leos.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Not even a Leo.
You're a Leo rising. And this year we're rising, so it's given. One way that I used to be a people pleaser, this was like mostly when I was like, I'm gonna say middle school to high school, because I started having trouble fitting in. And so I started acting like whatever group of people I was hanging out with, so that I could like fit in with them. But it wasn't really who I was, if that makes sense. Which, yeah, that's a bad thing. It's like, in order for these girls to be friends with me, I need to be acting like this. And is it true? Probably. You know what I'm saying? Like, birds of a feather flock together. It's like, you ain't gonna be hanging out with somebody so much and then they're gonna be like, you never want to do this with me. You never want to hang out. You never want to talk about these subjects. You literally have no interest in common with me. Why are we fucking friends?
Yeah.
I mean, exactly.
Dang.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring up like 2 definitions, because as I was like exploring this topic and researching, I learned 2 words and I was like, I feel like other people should learn this too, because I didn't know this was a thing or this is what it was called. So people pleasers are usually guilty at sociotropy. Sociotropy is feeling overly concerned with pleasing others and earning their approval as a way to maintain relationships.
Wait, say that again?
Sociotropy is a feeling when people are overly concerned with pleasing others and earning their approval as a way to maintain relationships. So it's like you're very hypervigilant, you know what I'm saying? You very much waiting to see what other people need so you can fulfill that need, because as long as they need you, then, you know, they will keep you around. Honestly, a lot of parents is guilty of this, and they try and use that to control their kids, like what I'm doing for you, or like if you staying at home with them, like whatever needs it is that they fulfill for you, they feel like you're gonna need them, so you have to align what they say do. Like the famous black line be like, if you want to stay in my house, or as long as you live under my roof, and then it's like, that is so manipulative. Like, I get you not want to be disrespected, but some of the stuff parents be making up just be ridiculous.
They think everything is disrespect.
Yeah.
If you sneeze if they sneeze and you don't say bless you, that's disrespect.
If you come in the house and you've never been there and you don't speak to everybody, that's disrespectful.
It's a thin line with me understanding that. Like, I'm somebody that doesn't want to speak to everybody, but I kind of understand.
I feel like a general, hey, y'all, like, I'm going to do that or whatever, because I feel like that is disrespectful. Like, you shouldn't just come into somebody's home and just be standing there looking creepy and shit. But, you know, it's like that same thing when it's time to leave a party and people expect you to go around saying bye, bye, bye to everybody.
Oh, no, I'm not doing that.
I used to do that until I met you. I was like, so you just leave? And you was like, I just leave.
I say bye to who I need to say bye to. That takes me back to another moment. It was a holiday. It was either Thanksgiving or Christmas. We were at my grandmother's house. RIP.
Rest in peace.
First of all, that holiday I did not want to be there. I didn't want to travel. This was when I was living in Norfolk.
Mm-hmm.
So it was already a lot, me just coming. Like, whatever. And so when I was ready to leave, I just went over to my mom. I'm about to leave. I love you. And I was making my way out. I think I made it out, and when I got to the car, somebody was like, "Wait, you left?" And I was like, "Huh?" What?
Yeah, they feel like personally offended. And so somebody that's a people pleaser, they're not going to do something like that because they don't want to offend anybody. They ain't trying to ruffle no feathers because they hate confrontation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we going to get into it.
I do that to avoid more interaction.
Which can be the same thing with different shoes. I'm just saying. Like, once you're a known people pleaser, I feel like people start to take advantage of you in your relationships because they know that you're willing to do whatever. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? A couple years ago, and I feel like even part of last year, we had to really, I would say, like, guide Max in his relationships because he would do something like get V-Bucks for his birthday, but then he'll buy all his friends like stuff or buy them the battle pass. Mm-hmm. And it'll be like, Max, you don't have to do these things to earn your friends. Those are your V-Bucks. You should spend them on the things that you want. Like, if occasionally you want to do something nice for somebody, that's cool. But every time you get V-Bucks, you shouldn't be spending them on your friends. Mm-hmm. And if they don't want to play with you because you're not spending V-Bucks on them, then they ain't the right friends with you.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the kind of stuff. It's like, at the end of the day, people are always going to take what you're willing to give for the most part, unless it's something they don't want. And even sometimes they still take it. But it's going to leave you, you know, stressed out, overwhelmed, burnt out. And then who's going to take care of you after everybody has the expectation that you're the caretaker?
A lot of people take that on for their parents once they get older. Specifically, people whose parents are still not in the best place financially. Mm. And they continue to help them and take care of them, and it's like, it's odd to me when the parents don't think about what they're taking from their child. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't think your child might need this for themselves? Like, they're trying to survive too.
Yeah, I feel like I actually seen something about this the other day, but I'm trying to remember what it was. Maybe it was a podcast, and they were talking about like when rappers get on, or I guess artists get on or something, and then the expectation is for them to like take care of their family and all that stuff. And it's like, I feel like it's most common in the Black community, specifically African Americans, and that's because we don't typically have generational wealth and lack a lot of resources. Now, this is not all Black people. All Black people are not in poverty or even now the new middle class. But it does impact a lot of people. And so when their parents are at retirement age, they just don't have the savings to care for themselves once they're done working. And so then that responsibility falls on their kids, and it sucks for their kids, and it sucks to keep doing that and keep doing that to your family members. But then also, what is the real solution? Because that's all they can do is keep working until they can't work no more. Yeah. You know? Yeah. It's like, to me, that's a solution that is not something that can be resolved in your own home. It's something that impacts across the board. Like, it needs to be resolved, I feel like, with the country. Yeah. And that's called reparations.
Reparations.
I was trying to say reparations, but then like my lips was moving weird, and then it sounded like preparations. But really, I was just like beginning to talk when I said reparations. Okay. I just be subconscious now because you know to be coming for me on YouTube. I seen this meme and it was like, no, it wasn't a meme. It was a video from that guy. What's that dude from TikTok with the glasses? He in the military.
Val?
Yeah. And he was like, and I don't want to hear about if what I'm saying and how I'm saying it wrong or not, because I shouldn't even be speaking this fucking language. And that's exactly how I feel. My sentiments exactly.
For real though.
Because first of all, Ebonics is a language. If you don't understand it, that's not my problem. Okay? And also there are different dialects of language depending on where you're from. That's where slang and stuff comes in. So if you don't get what I'm saying, then I don't know what to tell you. You're not advanced enough for this course.
Watch that YouTube channel where they travel to different hoods.
That's crazy, but that's the thing. What?
Yeah, I watch it sometimes.
This is what people who do that are not from the hoods. Why would we need to watch that?
I think it's interesting watching white people go into the hood and black people being okay with it. I think it's so interesting because I feel like for, I'll say safety reasons, you should not allow somebody to come in with a camera and record you and your people where y'all be hanging out. It just doesn't seem smart to me. So I'm just intrigued by that. And then on top of that, it's like, well, what are you doing since we're here? You know? Like, what are you guys up to?
Yeah,
Is this your block?
That's crazy to me. I can't imagine that happening in my hood when I was in the hood. That's for sure.
They be open to it, though. I guess they want to be on YouTube. I think the last video I watched, the main person they were following was like an artist or something. I'm assuming they were an artist. I could tell it was somebody of status. But it was like, oh, so you probably don't even live here no more, but you brought him to your old hood so you can get everybody else locked up? Okay. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, how do you know if you're a people pleaser?
How do you know if you pleasing people? When people keep coming back and asking you for stuff, it's time to really sit back and think about, why they keep asking me to do stuff? It's like, oh, because I keep doing it.
Yeah. I think that you should pay attention to your feelings. I mean, that's what everything, which essentially means that you need to be self-aware of how you feel when it is you go to do things for people. If you feel stressed out, overwhelmed, if you get frustrated all the time when making commitments, you probably are a people pleaser, because it shouldn't cause you no stress to say yes or no to something. Like, no is a complete sentence. You don't have to get upset and riled up emotionally. It shouldn't trigger you to have to tell somebody, no, not today. Like, that's outlandish. Like, why? I
know for me, sometimes I get scared to say no. And I'm aware that it's like a trauma response, but I'd be scared to say no just because it's like, are you going to hate me and be angry with me if I say no? It's like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to be on my toes and anxious. So let me just...
Yeah. So, if your feelings are similar to having pressure to be friendly or nice or cheerful, you know that shit where they do to black women that's like, smile. Why aren't you smiling? Like, everybody else around this fucking earth is allowed to walk around with a, stale face. Yeah. But black women, they always want some smile. They always trying to convince us that we angry. And it's like, I'm just chilling. I shouldn't have to be performative and act all chipper up in here. They love doing it in work situations too. In corporate situations, they want you to perform a certain way. Like, I've heard so many people say that when they got the review or something, they said they weren't a good team member or like somebody to work with. And it's like, just because I'm not fucking kikiing with y'all, I'm here to do my job.
Yeah. I was just talking about this recently, why people feel so safe at work to just be talking and telling their business and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what is that about?
It's something that could be studied, like a real documentary made about it.
Yeah. It's like, you're going to see me again tomorrow. You sure you want to tell me what you did with John last night?
They be telling now. I think, though, for real, people are so forthcoming like that with their coworkers because they're not their real friends. So they don't care really what they think that much. It's like, you know, whatever. They don't have to maintain no type of relationship with them for real except seeing them every day at work. It's like, but you probably wouldn't tell maybe like your own friends. You might feel guilty about saying certain stuff or like they're going to judge you. It's like, I don't care what Susie think. She be sneaking in the bathroom. She ain't got no reason to judge me. So
that's crazy. Dang, Susie.
If you get anxious about creating unease or standing up for yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
If you get stressed due to the commitments that you take on. If you get frustrated that you never seem to have time for yourself. It's like, who's in control of your Palm Pilot, bestie?
A Palm Pilot.
And also, if you usually feel like your feelings or your needs do not matter to most of the people you're in relationships with. At least in a comparison to others. You're like, so-and-so always gets to feel heard, but nobody ever asked me how I'm feeling about it.
Almost stepped on the tear button there.
Don't cry, baby. This is good. This is how you become more self-aware when you recognize certain things about yourself and you get the opportunity to say, is this who I want to be? And if it's not, then you can just make, small steps towards to having more self-worth. Because that's what it comes down to. If you don't feel worth things, then you do feel like you have to prove something. You do feel worried or anxious or nervous that people aren't going to like you. But when you know yourself, you love yourself, you see yourself for who you are and what it is that you have to offer, then you don't have to prove nothing to nobody. You don't have to be like, if I don't do this for this person, they're going to be acting crazy. Like, I'll let them act crazy. It's like, you just have to really build up your self-worth.
Yeah.
Some specific... Why can't I talk?
Take your time, baby. Take your time.
Some examples are, if you find it hard to say no to requests, we kind of already said that. You regularly take on extra work even if you do not have the time, energy, or money for it. I have that problem. My problem is I be offering to do shit that people ain't ask me to do. Like,
you can't be doing that, baby.
I be doing that all the time. Like, if you want, I'll just blah blah blah. Like,
you gotta handle that like. You gotta handle that like at work. Like, oh, you're having a hard time with that? That's crazy.
Girl, bye. When in real life, in real relationships, when you care about people and you have empathy for people, then you do want to do something to help solve their problems. It's just a matter of limiting yourself when you really can't do it. It's nothing wrong with the fact that you want to be a positive addition to your relationships, but you shouldn't feel like either you're a positive addition to your relationships or you're being positive to yourself. Like, you can't exchange one for the other, because it's always gonna be you, honey.
What if instead of volunteering your full-on takeover help. You like ask questions and lead them to better solutions and answers. Like kind of talk them through it.
That could be a thing. Yeah. It's always like acts of service type of thing. So it's not like coming to a decision or whatever. Even though it is, can be that. I'm just saying like for me. If you often overcommit to plans, responsibilities, or projects, that's me. But I don't know if I'm just telling myself this, but I don't think I do it for other people. I just genuinely, it makes me feel more worthy when I'm working or doing something. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. It's like I in a sense, I want to be perfect a little bit, like, you know.
Well, perfection is so.
If you avoid advocating for your own needs, such as saying you're fine when you're not fine. I've been there. One, I feel like, is my needs going to be heard? If I say it, is it going to go in one ear out the other? Or are you going to say that you're going to change this behavior and then you don't? And then you'll be like, what's the point? Yeah.
A lot of mine come down to what's the point? Like, what's it going to do? Really sharing this.
Yeah. If you avoid disagreeing with people or voicing your honest opinion. I don't have that problem.
What was the first part?
If you avoid disagreeing with people.
I used to have that problem. I don't think I have that problem anymore. I think I choose not to engage in the disagreement now. Like, if I don't see the value in taking time to go back and forth on it at that moment, then it's like, okay.
That still could be people pleasing though in a way.
But this is for me though. It's like, I don't want to do this.
You feel like that you're keeping the peace though.
Well, no, it just don't be worth it.
Okay.
Like, it don't be worth the time of going back and forth about the disagreement. It's like, okay, you feel how you feel, I feel how I feel. All right, let's just move on.
Yeah, you do that to me all the time. Because, girl, I'll go back and forth for days and days and days until I prove my point. Which also, that's a different problem on another episode. If you go along with things that you are not happy about to avoid friction.
Yeah.
Accepting blame for something that's not your fault. Or women especially, we like constantly over apologizing, like sorry. One day last week I just kept saying sorry all day and you were like, why do you keep saying sorry? And I don't know what it was that day. I just felt extremely apologetic. I don't know. Like everything was my fault or something. Sometimes it'd be like that. Another thing is a lot of people pleasers, they really can't take criticism or feedback. So they do anything to avoid somebody having to give them criticism or feedback. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I might secretly be somebody that can't take criticism.
I don't know if you can't take it. I think you just have to process it a minute before you're like open to understanding what the person might be saying. I don't think that you're totally closed off to it though. But I think that's healthy to take time to see how you actually feel about it. Do you understand? Then to like in the moment just be like, you know, just because you're not sure that you agree with it. Yeah.
Oh, okay then.
I think you're doing all right in that area. I mean, when it comes to me anyways. In other relationships, you're different.
This is a fact.
I feel like when you started dating me, your standards changed. But that's a good thing.
Yeah. Look at you changing my life for the better.
You changed my life too, for the better.
Yeah.
So, then you do have standards.
Standards. I gotta find that video of Plies saying that. I got standards.
Stop avoiding the question.
Huh?
Your standards. What would you say are your standards? I guess for any relationships you might be in,
Any
or for
relationship?
yourself, I guess.
Don't be a big old bitch. Don't be rude. Don't make fun of me. The kind of make fun of me, like how people be trying to act like that's a love language. It's
Some
not.
people genuinely do like it.
It is mean. It's mean behavior. No.
You know, like once I realized you wasn't really into that, and sometimes I still have to like catch myself or realize that I'm doing it, because some people just grow up like that. And although it's not a good thing to
It's
constantly
toxic
be
there
like,
too.
you know, roasting each other, it does become endearing though. So for me personally, I understand that I can't get everything that I need or all my interactions out with Cherry, because I know the type of person that she is or what she's open for. And so I have other relationships that I can be myself in that way. You know what I'm saying? Where it's not harmful. So I feel like, you know, sometimes you just have to analyze it. Who is it that you're in a relationship with, and what it is that they feel like is not, you know, a standard. Yeah. My standards in relationships look like reciprocity, which, if you don't listen to Lauryn Hill, it means that you get something for what you give. It's like an exchange. All relationships is some type of exchange, even if it's just love. Like, you do want to get that back. You don't want to be the only person loving somebody and they ain't loving on you.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be the only person buying stuff for somebody and they ain't buying nothing for you. You don't want to be the only person doing whatever and then getting nothing back.
Yeah.
It don't feel good over time anyways. Safety. I think that when I was younger, I never thought about that, even though I feel like that should have been something that was at the top of my priorities.
Who cares about safety?
But now being in a relationship with you is something that I value. And I don't mean like just only my physical safety, but like I feel safe with you emotionally. You know, like I can share my feelings with you. I can be myself with you. Like I feel like all of my relationships, I just want to feel safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is something that I was guilty of not being able to do. And with standards, I do think if you're going to ask somebody for something, you should be able to like also do that thing. And so in the past, I was the worst communicator on the planet. Probably not, but like it was very bad. It was just bad. Okay. And now that I am a healthy communicator, I can see all of everybody else who are bad communicators. And I do not want to be in relationships with them, because it feels like you have to take 1,000 steps back, because where they are in their journey, they have not yet become self-aware enough to recognize the way that they communicate, if it's healthy or not, and how it impacts other people.
Or if they can even communicate at all.
Yeah, that like, it's just once you get to that level of being a good communicator, you don't want to deal with that shit. And in some of my relationships, everybody's not the best communicator, but I still set the standard or create boundaries for those relationships if they cannot meet me where I am, you know. Genuine respect. I feel like
Don't be a big old bitch.
pretty much. I mean, and you're disrespectful me right now. So, calling them bitches, that's verbal abuse.
What?
I
I'm
call
saying,
you bitch sometimes, so.
It'd be different, though.
It'd be like, bitch. Not like, bitch. There's a difference. You ever seen that video before and it'd be like, black people, it's the same word, but it means different things? Mm-hmm. It's so funny.
It'd be like that with a lot of words, though.
Yeah.
You seen the ones with the looks? It's a SNL skit with that. It's Meg and somebody.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. We gotta stop doing this. We have to stop meeting like this. This is something I never thought about either until being in this relationship, and I would say even more being in the friendships that I have now. Is that I need to be in relationship with people who have the ability to let me shine. I think I used to have a lot of relationships with people where it benefited them for me not to be at my best, or for me to be sad or heartbroken, or, just like not in the best place. They benefited from that because something about it was, giving them energy.
Power.
Yeah. Or even just like when you come into your own self and you like, say if something good happened for you, you need to be in a relationship with people who, when something good happened to you, they feel happy for you. Like if people are incapable of, seeing you at your best and your worst, then it's probably not a good relationship to be in. Yeah, that's what I got for my standards.
I'm going to piggyback off of those standards because those are some good standards.
Yeah. I feel like your standards shouldn't be crazy high. I think people confuse standards with, what am I trying to say, baby?
Preferences?
Yes, preferences. Standards and preferences are not the same thing. Like the word preference, the definition of it says that it's not the same thing as a standard, which is just, this is what I prefer. It don't technically have to be this, but I would enjoy more relationships like this or more people like this. But people usually take their preferences and it's always defined by some superficial shit. So
physical shit.
Yeah, like only dating white girls. Only dating tall men. Shit like that. It's like, that's a preference, but that's not a standard. You can't say my standard is 6'10" and over. Like, shut up, girl. You worried about the wrong thing.
Literally so many other things you should be concerned about.
Because that nigga just sounds tall enough to smack you down in a fight. I've dated a lot of smaller men, and I think that's because I can square up with them if need be.
What? What?
I feel like somebody relates to me. Ain't nobody about to square up with you. I've never tried to fight you.
That's crazy.
To me, the difference between standards and preferences, first of all, the quality. It's like, to me, my standard is about the quality of which I'm willing to accept from my relationships. And basically, these are things that are non-negotiable because it's the bare minimum.
Yeah. Bare mins.
What do you feel like is the bare minimum for you? It's like, it's a lot of shit that be bare minimum nowadays because niggas just can't get it together, but
honestly, not being a big old bitch is bare minimum. It sounds funny.
What does that mean? Please elaborate.
Don't be mean, don't be rude to me or anybody else. Mm-hmm. That's the bare minimum. The least you can do is be respectful.
Yeah.
The least you can do is tell me how you feel. Communicate. Because what are we doing here? If you can't tell me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's true though. I feel the same way.
I didn't like the way you put the salt on the bread. Could you not do that next time?
See, like, I'm getting better at telling people how I feel about stuff, but my tone isn't there yet. You know, it's like, I feel like sometimes how I say stuff, it come off just as aggressive or like bitchy. And yeah, I need to work on that.
I think I need to be more... I don't want to say stern. That's not the word. I need to be more...
Assertive?
Assertive. Because mine usually starts with, so...
What's the difference between assertive and aggressive?
Assertive is...
It's a joke. Just say what?
Oh, what?
Gender. You know, because if you're a woman, they automatically say you being aggressive, even though you're just being assertive. Yeah, that's a joke.
I was ready to answer the question.
He was ready to go right now, like John Legend. What are some standards that you had in the past that you feel like was too low?
Standards.
Girl, say that one more time.
Standards I had in the past that was too low. Opening the door for me.
Do I open the door for you? Yeah, I do. But I feel like you open the door for me more.
Yeah, but I feel like it was... it was like one of those things for me. Like, you need to open my door.
That's something that you didn't or you needed to have.
And something I had, but it was like... well, it's not a standard. And do you see all these other things that this person isn't doing, and you're satisfied with him opening the door?
That's funny.
Yeah. Priorities.
I feel like I had the worst dating standards, and I think there's a whole umbrella of standards that go under that, like people that don't want to pay for the date, specifically men, because that's a men thing. Women never have problems paying for dates. Women are just like, you pick up the tab, I pick up the tab. Like, we've never had that issue.
Yeah.
I also feel like there was a lot of times in the past where I wanted to be exclusive or like monogamous, and I would settle for, you know, friends with benefits or
situationships.
Yeah, situationships. Just because like that is all they could give me. That's all they would give me, and I like would just take it because I didn't see my worth. You know.
Yeah, we all did that, girl.
Yeah,
I did it for years. I low-key feel like I ain't really had no standards for real. Like, I had things that I would have liked, but I never enforced them.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, well, guess this is where you're at with it.
I feel like women get a lot of slack for having standards, but that's because I think specifically in hetero relationships, men don't want to raise themselves to that standard. So they're going to act like what you're asking for is too much. And it's like, you're not asking for too much. Whatever you're asking for, whatever it is, there's somebody on the planet that can fulfill it. And I hope that you can also offer those same things. But I just feel like you never should settle than less than what you feel like you deserve. And sometimes you feel like you don't deserve as much and you're like selling yourself short.
Yeah.
Like, everybody deserves to be treated with kindness, respect, love. And like, if those basic things are not in your relationships, they need to get up out of here like real fast.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I would tell them, girl, bye.
I used to go along with a lot of stuff in my relationships. Friendships and romantic.
What you mean when you say go along with it?
Like, just whatever they wanted to do. I'd be like, yeah, sure, let's do that. I totally want to do that.
I choose D4L. Down for life. Somebody wasn't on I am.
I was not.
I was in the chat like,
I was not allowed.
it's probably why I could type so fast now.
My internet experience started with MySpace.
Oh.
Like, I heard about all those things that were going on and all the stuff y'all used to be doing. Catfishing people. But, you know, I could not partake. I had restrictions.
Let me see.
I probably would have got somebody caught up on To Catch a Predator.
That would have been good. Catch them up. Little weirdos talking to kids. I think professionally my standards used to be really low. Not just working at a job that you don't like, because I feel like a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
But just like the treatment from management, or like maybe dealing with certain people or situations longer than I should have, stuff like that. I feel like professionally all Americans are being taken advantage of, for sure. And I'm just waiting for us to rise up.
It's hard, but we can all do it. If we all do it, there's nothing they could do but listen to our demands.
Honestly, only 60% of us need to do it. It sounds 60% of like the amount of people in America. That's a lot of people, but still, it don't literally have to be all of us.
I think it should be all of us. Nobody should be compromising.
I agree.
Yeah, standards at work. It's a thin line between setting boundaries and standards and preparing to get fired. It's like, I'm learning how to say things, so I'm sharing how I feel. So far it's worked out great, but it's all in how you say it, and that's where the lines get blurred. Because sometimes you can't say how you feel outside of just saying how you really feel. It's like, now I gotta figure out a way to say it so it's professional. And I gotta figure out a way to say it so nobody gets offended or thinks that I'm talking about them. It's just a lot.
And you know, that's stuff that I don't even play with because I'm very direct. And I feel like if people are so passive aggressive, that's their own fault if they take offense of what I'm saying or how I'm being. A lot of people, they just have these preconceived notions. I feel like for me as a black woman, they're automatically going to assume, like I said, that I am being aggressive or, you know, whatever it is that they be thinking about black women that day. And I can't deal with it. I'm going to say what I have to say. And a lot of people get rubbed the wrong way by that. A lot of people think I'm telling them how to do their job. A lot of people think it's condescending. But it's because they're used to being coddled by society. And that's like most white women and men. Not just white men, though. All men. But specifically white women.
Yeah. Men definitely. This past week... it's been brought to my attention again just how stupid men are.
It's not brought to your attention every day?
Well, not necessarily, but certain things happen. I can't get into specifics because I'm still currently employed. But it's just, what do y'all be thinking? Like, it's like they just don't grasp information. They hear it. They see the words. But it doesn't click. I've never gone in circles so many times about the same thing.
It's called mansplaining.
It's crazy. And it's like, I'm just repeating myself over and over again because nothing's changed here. I don't know what you're not understanding. I don't understand what they don't understand.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to that?
The work just got me all riled up.
Okay. Well, we can move on. Do you feel like there are any, I guess, qualities in our relationship that we have already discussed that made you set a new standard, something that you didn't experience before, and now you was like, I'm not doing nothing absolutely below this ever again?
That we haven't already discussed?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Because I think the safety thing that's like number one now. Like, this is definitely the first romantic space I've been in where I could be all of me and not feel like I have to tone it down or like not be me at all.
I'm so glad you feel like that, because sometimes I be feeling, I believe that I'm judgmental, but that's because like that's how I used to be, but it's also how a lot of people still see me. So I still kind of see myself like that too. So I'm glad that you do feel that way. I definitely think that is one of the things, just like to me, is acceptance. Also, I did not get that in other relationships, just being able to freely be me. And even if I was being me, they were still trying to change me in some way or complaining about what I was doing or how I was behaving, when it was just like me. What do you want from me? It's not one of those things like that's just how I am. It's other things like just personality quirks and stuff. Cheating and lying, this is not really me, but I wanted to bring it up because I feel like a lot of women don't have this as a minimal standard, is accepting people who are honest with them and are not cheating on them. And a lot of women think that all men cheat, and that's fucking not true. All men don't cheat. All people don't cheat. You're literally in a relationship with somebody who does not give a fuck about you. And if they do care about you in some sense, it's only to use you, because they're going to keep going back to you because you allow it. It sounds harsh, but I'm sorry. I feel like people say you could cheat on somebody and still love them. Whatever. I could say you could cheat on somebody because you never loved them. I don't know. I feel like if you love somebody, you will break up with them before you cheat on them.
I think you can do a lot of things and still love somebody or have love for somebody, but certain things you can't do them and still value the person. I feel like that's different.
I'm cracking up because of that video you sent me.
Women on podcast.
I literally reposted it to my story like this, baby. I'm a good.
But for real. Yeah. I think certain things, it's like, you may still care for this person in some way, but you don't value who they are, and you definitely don't value the position or role that they play in your life.
Yeah.
Go ahead, do it again.
No. I'm trying to hold back now because the first one was so genuine. One thing for me is like really liking each other. I didn't know that was a thing because I didn't know people really didn't like me until I've been with somebody who did really like me.
Girl.
And it's this saying that I wanted to say. It's like, go where you are appreciated, not tolerated. And so a lot of people are in relationships with people that they tolerate, but do they genuinely like them? Absolutely not. And that's why there's a lot of stuff in the relationship that they do that are not mindful, because they're just tolerating you. They're not really appreciating what you are and who you are, what you bring to the relationship. So, they are doing a bare minimum to keep you in their life. And you're accepting it. So, yeah.
We made it.
Yeah, we did. 3 episodes for sure. So I wanted to get into why we people please. You know what I'm saying? Because we do be doing that. We be people pleasing. A lot of it is trauma. We know that. A lot of stuff stems from trauma. It could be your childhood trauma. It could be relational trauma that may or may not still be ongoing. It could be complex trauma. So it really just depends. But most people who are people pleasers and they do it because they have trauma, it's been something that has been repeated over and over and over again. It's not like one-off situation like, oh, I had a breakup or I got into an accident or something. It's like this is something that has happened to you repeatedly, and now you build up people pleasing as a trauma response. You know what I'm saying? And that's called the fall response. Remember we was doing like flight, fight, freeze.
Fight, flight. Yeah, I think that's it. Fight, flight, or freeze.
See, I got it this time. Another aspect of that is fawning, and that's basically like you get stuck where you was, so you just keep doing the same things. A lot of people do it because they're perfectionists. They want people to see them as a certain way. They want to control the narrative or the perception that people have of them. So they feel like if I behave in these manners, then this is who they think I am. And as long as somebody think that you are something, then they can believe it enough for you to get over on or manipulate them. And sometimes it don't be on purpose that you manipulating, but you do be manipulating. Also, you could be somebody who like grew up with perfectionist like parents or something, so you might see yourself as not ever being good enough. So you always questioning the things that you do. Is it enough? Is it valued? Yeah, that's the thing. Also, people who have anxiety, mostly like social anxiety, they can be people pleasers because they feel like in social settings, if they want to be accepted, if they want people to like them, if they want to stay in relationship with people, that they have to prove it. They have to do something. They have to earn it. And you don't have to earn it. You shouldn't have to earn it. You know what I'm saying? Also, people that have anxiety, they just hate confrontation. So instead of saying how they truly feel about something, they'll suppress their feelings and instead tell somebody something that they want to hear. Like, yeah.
Yikety yikers.
Then there's culture and socialization, and we kind of dabbled that earlier when we talked about how like black families are, and it's like it's cultural for us to be a certain way, so then we become people pleasers because of it. But there's also like that desire for external validation. So I feel like the most obvious thing right now is like social media. There is a desire for us to have external validation. And sometimes that, I feel like that has spilt over or it reflected in our personal relationships in real life. Where it's like, you know, you want approval. You want somebody to acknowledge everything that you're doing. Once, like I said before, you don't want to cause offense to people. And then, of course, there are those familiar or cultural expectations. You know, and you're like, I gotta act a certain way so my parents won't cut me off.
Marry a certain person.
Shit like that, yeah.
That's crazy.
Low self-esteem is a huge reason, which is what we were saying about not having self-worth. They feel like their worth are less than others. They may feel like their needs are important, and they usually do not advocate for themselves. And because of that, they have less awareness of what they want or who they are. Yes. So you kind of get like engulfed in these different personalities or people that you're portraying in your relationships, that now you lost your sense of self. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you want in life because everything that you do is what other people want. And yeah, that's not a great place to be in.
Jeez.
Also, people who have low self-esteem, they tend to be naive or gullible. They move very quickly in relationships. Like in the sense of they give too much too soon. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's cool, but sometimes it's not. And unfortunately, we don't know how it's going to end up in the future. If it felt like you gave too much too soon, or if it was just right. Like, I feel like if we would have got more serious early in our relationship, it would have been okay. But I feel like it made our relationship better that we took things slower.
Yeah.
And then also, they be so easily impressed. Like, oh, girl, he bought me some flowers, got me an edible arrangement, brought me lunch to work. Like, okay.
Those are nice things, though.
I can, like, really base how I want to be treated in my romantic relationships based on how it is I'm treated in my, like, friendships. Because me and my friends, we, like, are side niggas. You know what I'm saying? We be there for each other. We comfort each other. We give each other compliments. We give each other gifts. Like, I know how I want to be treated because I'm already being treated this way. It's like, if you can't treat me at least how my friends are treating me, then what do we have to talk about?
Yeah.
Like, who's gonna accept even lower than your friend's treatment?
That's a good standard to have.
It's embarrassing. And also there's, like, inequity. So this comes into, like, sexism or gender roles. It's like men, they might feel like their value is a lot in money. Women might feel like their value could be in their body, or, you know, it could be what they can do for a man. If I wash his laundry, then he's gonna keep dating me.
If I keep making this Alfredo.
I don't know what she took him about, because the Alfredo be having them.
I mean, it do.
The Alfredo works, okay?
It's good.
Even better if you toss some broccoli up in that thing.
See?
Some red peppers and onions. Make it from scratch, though, girl. You might want that Bertolli's.
That ragu.
Ooh. And then on the serious side of things, people who have certain personality disorders can tend to be people pleasers. So it's people who have, like, BPD, which is borderline personality disorder, CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder,
Jeez.
DPD, which is dependent personality disorder, and ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Oh, and then the last one, OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. So, if you got any of those, that probably might be the reason why you're a people pleaser.
I think I have a dash of
something.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to add, but ADHD is another one as well. And a lot of times people, it's the happy chemicals that we get from the interactions, and this specifically dopamine. It's like we keep coming back for that feeling of excitement or pleasure. And we feel pleasure when we're, like, praised, or pleasure when we're invited into a group, or, you know, pleasure when it feels like you're gonna still be loved by somebody the next day. So they keep doing shit to make them feel that way.
Speaking of drugs, this is way off topic. I came across this video on YouTube the other day, and people are actively taking horse / just animal tranquilizers, and that's like the new drug.
Where are they getting them from?
Allegedly, there's these two people that make it.
They got the game on lock.
And the video was based in Philly. It's like a spot in Philly where people that take trank or do trank, I don't really know the process and how they consume the drug.
Yeah.
But it's a spot in Philly where they are. And it's like, I don't really understand. If somebody tells you this is a tranquilizer, what tells you this should be the next drug I take?
Girl, you know, when people use drugs for so long, or they build up the tolerance for something, they be looking for something stronger and stronger.
And that's the thing. They said once you do it, you're not going back to that other shit because it's not going to hit the same.
Yeah.
But it also, like, causes your body to, like, fight itself and create open wounds that don't heal. It was crazy. I don't know how I got there. I think I just pulled up YouTube one day and that was just on, like, their homepage or something.
That's wild. It sounds like something that's in a Netflix documentary.
Child, it was crazy. And at the same time, I felt bad because it's like, you make it to that level where it's like, you got some shit going on. Like, can we get these people some help?
Yeah, they don't want to get people help because addiction pays a lot of money. You got to think about all the places for people that have addictions, the people that end up in prison, which is modern day slavery, the people who, you know, are constantly in and out of medical facilities. It's a business. They're okay with it.
It's sick.
It's crazy.
Sorry, I got all off topic.
The only reason they started caring about opioids because white girls was taking them.
Child.
Anywho, I wanted to talk about why being a people pleaser is unhealthy, because it's like, yeah, we could talk about this all day, but it's like, why? How is this going to impact you on a big scale? Specifically with dopamine. Dopamine has a part in controlling your memory, your mood, your sleep patterns, how you learn, your ability to concentrate, and also body movement and other bodily functions. So just imagine that you're trying to getting these quick hits of dopamine from doing all these favors for people and stuff like that. Like, it becomes addictive, and that is dangerous. This is in my own words, but like, the more that you people please, the more you become unauthentic, fake as fuck, and a liar. Because who even are you? You're just wearing a suit every time. You just unzip another one and then go to the next location. Like, basically a shapeshifter. I love Juana. Also, people pleasing can cause you to suppress your emotions. And so the more you suppress your emotions, the more they intensify. And that means the more of an intense reaction that you're going to have to whatever that is. Also, you can build up resentment. And then your relationships get even worse because now you're mad at them for some shit that you did. Unprovoked most of the time.
That's crazy.
Like I said before, that it can become manipulative, even though most times it's intentionally manipulative, it still is. Because you're basically manipulating somebody's perception so that they can do something or give you something. And that's not right.
Yeah.
You will continually have trouble advocating for yourself. And, you know, this can lead to patterns of like self-sacrifice or self-neglect. So it's like you might be one of those people that give so much till you have nothing. Like, my grandmother is like this. Like, she'll give somebody her last. And we all know those people that be like, shit, they'll give you the clothes off their back. But then what happens when you ain't got no clothes on your back, sis? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that shit's crazy. You can't do that. You have to take care of you first. And if you can't take care of you, then you can't take care of other people. And so, yeah, it's just going to lead you down a dark path. And back to the fake ass liar is that one day you're going to realize that you don't even know who you are or even what you want because you're constantly changing to fit in different places and with different people. And yeah.
It hinders you from being able to be alone, process your own emotions.
And you remember before when I was talking about introverts and extroverts and how I feel like they're both lacking something, and the most balanced people are omniverse. Like, you should seek to be an omnivert. that like in certain social situations where you are comfortable, you should be able to be like social and extroverted, but then there are times where you need to be introverted because you need to be alone, you need to process your emotions, you need to be able to soothe yourself. And if you can't do either, then that's unhealthy as fuck. If you always constantly have to be surrounded by people, there's something wrong with that. You need to figure out why you can't be alone with your thoughts. And if you feel like you constantly need to be alone and you can't be around other people, there's also something wrong with that, because we need relationships to grow. And if you're constantly being alone by yourself, there's no way to gauge how much you have really healed. Because if you're not actively participating in relationships or environments that could possibly trigger you, how do you know if you really moved on past that stuff? Everybody think they healed till they get to their grandma's house on Thanksgiving and they auntie asking them questions about their ex-boyfriend, and next thing you know, they're ready to square up their cousin. Square up with their cousin.
Or asking you how's school going. Not knowing that you dropped out last week.
Chill.
You know, that was such a time in my life. When I dropped out and people kept asking how school was going. It's like, sweetie, it's not. But I'm doing well, you know. Working day and night. No, really, I was working. I would work. I get up and work 5 in the morning. Come home, go to sleep. Get up, go to work at 6. And then I was working on Saturdays at the radio station. Yeah.
That's a lot.
I'm a hustler.
Sounds very people pleasery, if you ask me.
Oh, I was just trying to pay bills, honey.
She's trying to please the landlord.
For real.
I feel like everything we say could be taken out of context. Okay, sorry.
Abandonment issues and codependency. Mm-hmm. Like is it a sign of?
So you can become codependent and you can have abandonment issues. So,
being a people pleaser?
Right. Well, you become codependent because you're reliant on validation from other people, acceptance from other people. Like you're not defining your self-worth. You're allowing other people to define your self-worth, which makes you have low self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then as far as abandonment issues is like, in relationships, we have to be able to healthily detach from people. And that means like either when a relationship's in or if you don't see people for a period of time, like you need to be okay with being on your own. Mm-hmm. And when we are not okay with it, that means that we feel like our whole life is turned upside down when somebody leaves our life or a job leaves our life or whatever. It's like, you know, you're not really mentally and emotionally stable anymore because of you don't have that thing. And that's toxic.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What if it's like really important?
What could be really important more than that?
Like, what if... I don't know.
There's nothing more important than you.
Okay. Well... You can start to put your happiness and peace in other people's hands by people pleasing.
That's dumb. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Like, can you imagine letting other people tell you how to be happy and they're not even happy? Like, why am I listening to this person what I should be doing with my life and they're not even doing what makes them happy in their life?
It's a hard thing to overcome. I feel like all of this comes back to how you're parented. It's like parenting and your self-worth. I feel like all this comes back down to that. Mm-hmm. Relationships become...
Interactional.
Interactional?
That's not what I meant, huh?
Transactional?
Yeah, that's what I meant, transactional. Yeah, that's funny.
I was picking up what you were putting down.
Okay.
So, how to stop being a people pleaser? That's when you become a big old bitch. No, I'm kidding. Establish and maintain boundaries. Let niggas know that no means no. I'm not doing that. I'm not going with you to 50 stores today.
This is all very personal, obviously.
I'm just saying. You can feed me as many times as you want. I still don't want to go to the next store. We just went to Walmart yesterday. I'm sorry.
It wasn't me. Stop hollering at me.
Start changing behavior patterns in small ways. What you mean by that? In small ways.
So, like, kind of how last week we were talking about on an episode that, you know, every day is a practice. And so you have to just start a little bit at a time and work your way up until you completely made a change. So, say if the first thing you should do is maybe just start practicing saying no a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody asks you to do something and you genuinely don't feel like it, or you're not in the mood, you don't have the energy, you ain't got the time, you ain't got the money, say no. Just start saying no. Start saying no to your kids, okay? And then that will help build it up real quick, because the sooner they understand that you really saying no, then you might think that you got something going on here. And you can tell other people, like...
Sometimes it's scary saying no to your kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be scared.
What you think they gonna do, square up with you?
No. That would be crazy.
It would be crazy.
I would just run. I ain't trying to hit nobody. Be like Johnathon Majors running down the street.
I'll be like that one TikTok dance. Come on.
Set goals based on your priorities. Yeah.
What is important to you? What is valuable to you? Then that's where you should put your energy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Positive self-talk. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, "You the baddest punta." That's what it takes.
Okay.
Take time to process and think after assessing the requests. What?
So if somebody asks you to do something, be like, "Let me get back to you," or "Let me think about it. I'll let you know." Most of the time, they already know that means no. But also, that could give you time to actually think about, do I really have the time and space for this? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's just like a moment for you to process your feelings and realize how much something's impacting you when you don't want to do it. Like, you can feel it when you don't want to do it. It'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't make excuses or explain.
Over
No
explain.
is a complete sentence.
Yeah, you know how people, they gotta, like, they can't just say no. They have to, like, tell you why they saying no. And it's like, you don't need to give them a reason, sweetheart. It doesn't matter what the reason is. The answer's still fucking no.
That takes me back to work.
Yeah.
If you gotta call out, they don't need to know why.
Ain't none of their goddamn business. And depending on what you state you in, that's illegal for them to ask.
Period. Is it illegal here?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up. Observe relationships. Are they reciprocal or one-sided? Are you saying yes to their mother and yes to them dating you? Yes, you can be together. And then the first time you say no, it's like you never said yes.
I'm gonna use that this week.
That was a hit.
That first album was something great. I love that album. Still
Yeah.
play it.
Mad relatable. Help when you want, and don't offer unsolicited. Wait to be asked.
And then say no.
But for real. Ain't no volunteering around here, baby girl. I am not on probation. Let's see. I just said that. Communicate.
How people gonna know if you don't tell them? You can say, oh man, they should have known how I felt about this. They should have known I was feeling used. They should have known I didn't feel like going. But how do they know if you don't tell them? They should know, but you can't expect them to know. So you have to communicate your needs, your feelings.
Yeah. I'm going to refer you guys back to that Whitney song. How will I know? Might be a Whitney day tomorrow.
I love a good Whitney day.
She gets the party going. Shout out.
With It's Right, but It's Not Okay. It's my jam.
Yeah.
Remember that video that was going around? It was the sound, and she was like, the part when she was saying like last night when you and your boys went out to eat.
Oh yeah.
It was like they came home, but you returned around 3.
Ciao. Seek a mental health expert. You might not be able to do it all on your own. You might need some help, girl. Or guy. Or they. You might need some help. And that's fine.
They know that girl is genderless.
I hope so.
If they watching this show, they better know. Ready to go to Mental Health Matters, Tim?
Mental health matters. Yeah.
Was that the remix?
Yeah. I'm still working on it.
Nah. This week for Mental Health Matters, you cannot make anyone happy but yourself. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You are in charge of your own happiness, and other people are not responsible for your happiness, and you are not responsible for other people's happiness either. So you shouldn't feel guilty when you can't make them happy, but you also shouldn't feel entitled to other people making you happy or be fulfilled. It's like what I said earlier in the conversation of like, I don't have this expectation for Cherry to fulfill everything in my life. So I know I can't joke with her about certain things, but I can call my cousin Monty up and we can joke all day. And roast all day. And that's fine. You have to know that you can't get everything from one person, and that's a impossible standard to set, that you think that this one person that you're in relationship with, regardless of what it is supposed to be able to make you feel good in every part of your life. And it's like, you have to be the catalyst for that. Mm-hmm. And then you have to also get that from the people who are able to offer it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of us, we let ourselves down, or we get in situations where our heart get broke a little bit because we're expecting people to do things that they are incapable of, or we know that they're incapable of it, but we still keep asking them to show up for us in that way. And it's like, you know, that's not who they are. Stop expecting people to be who they're not.
Yeah.
You should not have to convince somebody else of your worth. If you feel like you have to convince somebody of your worth, then that means that they don't value, and that means you need to get the fuck out of Dodge fast. Like, real quick.
Hop in that car and make those tires spin.
Riding spinners.
Riding spinners.
The truth is that everybody is the villain in somebody else's story. And so that means you have to make peace when other people are disgruntled, don't like something that you're doing, don't agree with something what you're doing, because it's not about them. It's your life. At the end of the day, you are the only person that has to live this life, to live in this body, to walk in your shoes every day. So how you feel should matter more than anybody else's. And you just got to make peace with things that's outside of your control. There's a lot of shit outside of your control, by the way. A lot. Okay?
Yeah. Everything outside of you, honestly.
No. Things that you can't control. other people's perceptions, the fluctuation of your mental health, the state of the world around you, getting triggered, other people's actions or demands or needs, being able to know the outcome of every situation or control the outcome, and what other people do with their lives. We're going to redirect you back to the 4 agreements because that's everything you need to know about relationships. And the biggest one is just don't be taking stuff personal. A lot of times we be taking stuff personal that has to do with other people, and then we're getting our energy spent because we mind other people's business.
Yeah. Everything people do, even if it involves you, it has nothing to do with you.
That's a fact. Ultimately, relationships are mirrors. That means that the very things that you're seeing in somebody else, chances are you're probably also giving off that same vibe. And all relationships are going to teach us things. And some of it's going to be for the better or for the worse. You know what I mean? Some of it's going to feel like a good experience and some of it's going to feel like a bad experience. But ultimately, it's supposed to help us create personal growth in our lives. A lot of relationships will teach you self-love. I've been in relationships that taught me how to communicate healthily. Breaking up from relationships will teach you detachment. Having bad relationships will teach you to have better standards. Being with somebody that is trashy can teach you how to have more confidence and move on with your life. Being in chaotic or traumatic situations can teach you how to create peace in your life. Being in an abusive situation could lead you to spirituality. And all relationships is going to help you learn critical thinking. Like how to think for yourself. And make healthy decisions that are good for you at the end of the day. So, yeah, keep all that in mind and that will be helpful to your mental health.
Yeah.
Want to get into forest bias or?
Let's do it.
Okay. This episode is going to be late, but it's Martin Luther King Day.
MLK.
I don't know how I feel totally about Martin Luther King Day, but we're here now. Can't say what we should have did or would have did in the past, but yeah. Martin Luther King Day is obviously reserved because Martin Luther King was somebody that created space for equal rights. Although all rights are not equal for every person. And so that should be celebrated, what he did and how he impacted before his untimely death. I really want to bring up MLK Day because Johnathon Majors keeps referencing Coretta Scott King. And it's funny as fuck.
Martin Luther King III responded.
What did he say?
He said, "My mother was more than a prop."
Yeah. I feel like basically what he's saying, Johnathon Majors referring to his ex-girlfriend or even more Megan Good as like being a Coretta Scott King is basically saying they're just there to fill a position, a role. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just there to hold him up. And a lot of how most people see black women is just to back them up when they need them. But what is it that you're offering to those women, Johnathon Majors, besides a beatdown? Allegedly.
Hold on now.
But he did get charged, so it's really not alleged.
He
got charged on 2 counts.
You know what?
But I think it's very weird for him to want to ask a white woman to be a Coretta Scott King because she could never. And I think it's ridiculous that you would keep bringing up this woman's name. She doesn't know you. She don't have nothing to do with you. And I think it's actually not a good thing to be a Coretta Scott King because when you look back at the relationship that she did have with Martin Luther King Jr., it was not the best relationship. It's one of those relationships we're talking about right here. Okay, she was getting cheated on left, right, and that says to me what he about to do. Cheat on with Meg with a white girl?
Several, if we're bringing up the facts.
I don't know. I feel like the internet is in a frenzy this week. Last week we had Cat Williams doing the Cat Williams thing.
I am loving the Cat Williams interviews. And I enjoy watching him speak.
Honestly, we was watching it and I said, he's a Virgo. And I Googled it and he was a Virgo because I really seen myself in him. I related to it and I was thinking, this gonna be me one day. If they finally let me have a mic. Not this mic, like a different one. And it was fucking funny. And all the memes are hilarious. And all of the quotables are hilarious. And I just like Cat Williams.
Yeah. He's really that guy and he's been that guy.
Yeah, that's a fact. He's been in his own lane for a hot minute. Well, we can move into Reel It In. I ain't gonna say I was looking for something to watch because it kind of found me. I just opened Disney Plus yesterday. And I was like, what am I gonna watch? And then I went to National Geographic because y'all know I'm a nature girly. And I seen Earth Moves and I was like, oh, what is this? The name right there already had me. Earth Moves. What is this? And they had several episodes where it's literally just like a drone in whatever location. The first location is like a wintry snowland, but it's like so beautiful. It's like places and you would have never ever seen this before. Like if they didn't record this. And I don't know, it just was very awesome. It was very soothing. It was giving meditation. You know, I was falling asleep. I feel like that's a good sleep show. But there's no words. There's only music. And it's good music. I feel like it's the kind of music that makes your brain work even though you're not doing anything.
Shout out.
So check that out. I did want to bring up Raising Kanan because we brought it up last week and we talked about the spoiler. Was that last week or the week before last? I don't know, but we kind of be late on the episodes because we like waiting for them to build up a little bit. But since it's been a couple of weeks, I feel like it's okay for us to discuss this. Why did they kill Unique? And then they're going to keep his weird ass brother on the show? That nigga gives me the skeevies and he's just a character.
The skeevies. I think Joey had a prior engagement and had to leave.
He do got a new album coming out.
Yeah. I feel like his character is needed. And it was kind of strange that they killed him instead of his brother.
Yeah.
But the brother keeps it spicy, I guess.
Yeah, and he gives that unexpected vibe of what's he going to do next? You don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought he was going to bang Unique's wife when she tried to stop him. But he just walked down. I was like,
I guess that was his moment of feeling bad for what he did. It's like, you know what? I'm not even going to kill you.
No way. He said Unique's gone and he ain't coming back. And the Book of Clarence is coming out. I honestly truly do not understand what this movie is about. The only thing that piques my interest is the fact that what's his name?
Don't even know your man's name. That's
Lakeith
crazy.
Stanfield,
wow.
is in it, and I love Lakeith. So yeah, I did want to talk about the Book of Clarence soundtrack though. It dropped already and it has some hot vibes on it. We got Doja Cat on there rapping like no tomorrow. She's really giving her all these last couple of years, and it just sucks because she's also giving her all to incels. What do we do? I feel like I'm in the panic button of SpongeBob's brain. Like,
just listen to the music and vibe out, girl.
I can't do it, honey. Every time I blink, I just see white men on computers. It's crazy.
That's a crazy thing to say when you blink.
It's also got Jay-Z on there. It's got a bunch of cool people. D'Angelo. I was like, interesting. So check that out if you're into music soundtracks.
White men on computers.
This week for the breaks we have 21 Savage. He dropped American Dream this week. Mm-hmm. I know that you love 21. I like 21 too, but you love 21.
Just like Lakeith this year, BD, 21 is my BD.
He is? I had no clue. But I respect it, you know?
Yeah.
Have you listened to the album?
I need to revisit the album at another time. I know that I enjoy like the first 3 or 4 songs. Mm-hmm. I need to come back. It's also a lot of, not introspection, but shit that I'm not here for. Things I don't come to 21 Savage for. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of that on this album. And I'm going to skip those songs.
I feel like you should listen to them sometimes. I know you didn't come here for it, but it's like in a sense that you're avoiding their feelings, you're also avoiding the feelings that you share.
I don't enjoy the songs.
Okay.
People don't know how to put it into a song and the song still be enjoyable for me. Mm-hmm. Like the energy is different. And I know it should be because of what they're talking about, but I just don't want to hear it. Mm-hmm. It's like, you made it. I'm so glad you did. Because now I can enjoy you. But leave it on the playground.
It was just too Rough Rider for me at this current moment. I'm not exactly in a slow jam phase or nothing, but I'm also just not in gangster vibe right now either. So, yeah. Solange has announced her new art exhibit. It's called In Service to Whom. It's in Sydney, Australia. It's an 84-minute 4-act performance. It has sound, video projection, scenography, archival collection, 24 screens, 4 channels.
Jeez.
And it's dope. She's got like a whole life band. Y'all know how Solange get down. She don't fuck around when it comes to the performance. And the fact that this is seen as an art exhibit, I'm really feeling it. Solange is one of my favorite performers. And she, to me, is an artistic visionary. Love this. Wish I could get to Sydney right now. Yeah. Them bugs, I'm never going.
The bugs and the racism, girl. Something's gonna get you.
I mean, I've been to Australia. I haven't been to Sydney, though. Okay, so then Ariana Grande dropped Yes and to be quite frank, I was disappointed. I feel like maybe on a personal level Ariana Grande is changing so much and that's impacting her music, but to me the song felt aged. It just didn't feel very 2003.
It's giving 96 Madonna.
Yeah, and I just wasn't I wasn't here for it. The dancing, the visuals, none of it excited me.
Yeah. We didn't need it, girl. Could you put your blackface back on?
No, don't put the blackface back on. But all I'm saying is
in the studio. In the studio.
No, not in. Don't say put your blackface on. That is problematic. All I'm saying is her music didn't have to change genres. That just was crazy.
Yeah. We enjoy you being pop. It's fine. But dance.
Janae Aiko. Why am I mispronouncing her name? Like that's not my girl. She dropped a new song. It's called Sun/Sun, meaning the sun, the planet, and also her son, Noah. Mm-hmm. That's her son's name.
Noah.
That's very cute, actually.
Noah?
Yeah, my grandma wanted me to name Max Noah, and I was like, girl, you had 2 chances, and you named your kids Tanisha and Dewan. Absolutely not. Not changing my name my child Noah. Why do old people do that? Why they be trying to like get you to name your kid a name, and it's always a Bible name, and it be like,
that's why you want him to have a name with some meaning.
And what do her kids' names mean?
So
I couldn't tell you. It's a very slow jam type of song. It's really just what it sounds like, a message to her baby boy who she loves so much, and the feelings that she has of being a new mom again. You know, she dropped like a lullaby album last year. It was like very cute and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
If you got babies, check out that out, because you know she be having the vibrations going. Another song that just came out is by Infinity Song. You guys, if you on TikTok ever, you know that song gonna be like, I love the way it feels to be a hater. Mm-hmm. And it's this music group. They sing like soft rock. They're black and they're 4 siblings, which is very cool to me. It's giving Jackson 5 2023, but something about them feels and looks vintagey too. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm really loving the vibe. Mm-hmm. And they're signed by Jay-Z. That's dope. And they just dropped a new album. It's called Metamorphosis, so check that out. Did I say what the song was called? It's called Slow Burn.
Slow Burn.
Yeah, it's giving all that it needs to give. Kid Cudi dropped. It's a lot of new music this week. Crazy. Mm-hmm. His new album is called Insano. So far, I like it. Can't wait to get back over there, baby. You wasn't really listening when I was playing it?
I heard it.
Like she said, she don't like that emo music. One song that I really want to bring up was the song that he had with XXX Tentacion. Am I saying that right?
Tentacion, I think.
Tentacion. Okay. But you know, this was a song that he had to get cleared because obviously this young man is no longer with us. Mm-hmm. And it was giving vibes, so check that out. Kali Uchis dropped her new album. It's called Orchidas, also known as Orchid. She looks amazing on the cover. She looks amazing in all the visuals. Her new video. She just announced her pregnancy. Mm-hmm. I just wish I could do my pregnancies over in 2023, but not have my kids be born again. Because I just feel like I would have been such a cute pregnant person. Like, if pregnancy was cool when I was pregnant, like, I would have been wearing crop tops too. Like, when I was pregnant, they were still shaming people for pregnancy. Like, cover that belly. I remember one time I had posted a picture on Facebook, because this was when Facebook was still going. And I was in a swimsuit, and I was like in the mirror like this, holding my phone, taking a selfie. And I posted it, and my uncle's like, you need to take that down. Like, in a swimsuit? Sir.
I had no clue that Kali Uchis was even dating Don Toliver.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. But they cute. And that was crazy how Halle Bailey finally came out and said that her and DDG did have a baby. They named him Halo. That's so cute.
Halo?
Yeah.
You think she sings that song to him?
Probably. I mean, I feel like maybe it was like just a PR strategy to not say anything about her pregnancy.
I don't know if it was PR. I feel like
people
it was
kept
probably
bringing
just a personal
bringing it up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the more people talked about is she or isn't she pregnant, the more she was staying in the media, I feel like.
Well, congrats, girl.
Yeah, shout out. I really wanted to get your opinion. Lil Nas just dropped, or he about to drop. Mm-hmm. He got a new song called Jake Rice. Mm-hmm. And the Christian people are really up in arms, super offended, because they felt like he was cosplaying as Jesus in the video, which he was, but don't they all? Mm-hmm.
The head movement.
Word of word. That's why I be doing it, I think. And I think it's like my divorcee. Like,
I could never.
Oh my God! If you haven't seen that, you got to see it. It's hilarious.
We gotta post that on our story. Or
yeah,
something.
We will. Yeah, but what'd you think? Jay Christ.
First of all,
I ain't gonna lie, the song wasn't bad to me.
The
I think
song
Lil
is a
Nas makes great music.
Mm-hmm.
And so I also don't understand why he need to do all this if his music is good, you know?
I will say that's my only issue with this. Like, he has the talent and the status at this point where he doesn't have to do these outlandish things for marketing or for attention, because you're Lil Nas X. You do something, we're going to know about it and we're going to pay attention. As far as the Christians go, didn't he say he was hesitant about dropping anymore because he was being threatened and stuff?
Well, he said he basically came out with a public apology, and he said that it wasn't his intention. Like, he knew some people would be mad about it, but he didn't think it was going to garner this much outrage. And his intention was basically to say he backed like Jesus Christ. It wasn't to make fun of God or anything, which it didn't seem like he was making fun of God, but I mean, he was dressed as Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Wearing a bust down and a full set.
Which looked great.
He looked amazing, okay? I'm not going to lie to you.
I
love Lil Nas X. I don't care, because I just feel like everybody be cosplaying as Jesus. Mm-hmm. Some people even wear Jesus as a Halloween costume, like that one nigga who in New York who had the clouds on the hoverboard.
Oh yeah,
that shit was lit.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, I know with his recent past having the Satan shoe and everything, like, it's all for sales. It's all because the generation of music, people who listen to his music, that's what they're intrigued by. That's what they're interested in. That's what's going to catch their attention. Mm-hmm. And some music just don't be for you. If it ain't for you, then keep moving. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I think it's also time that we recognize that Christians are violent people. Mm-hmm. It's not really much more I feel like I need to say about that. Look at your parents.
Yeah, no,
look at the way that they treat people that sin. And why are you threatening this young man over a song and a video that you had nothing to do with and that isn't affecting your life personally?
Yeah, I agree.
You're violent. You're aggressive. You're the problem.
Right. Everybody know he doing it's just for shock value, and so all you doing is giving him more sales and more attention by even talking about it constantly. If you don't want to spread this message, you probably should fucking stop reacting to it. And then the last thing I want to bring up is, did you catch that interview with Mos Def? I don't know what he was on. And he was, they got to ask him, I guess, about the best rappers or what rappers in what genre. And he said he felt like Drake was pop.
Well, the young lady just said, how do you feel about Drake? Or something like that. Mm-hmm. Or is Drake hip hop? I think that's what she asked.
Yeah, I think so.
And he said he was pop. And he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Drake makes hip hop music. He's also a pop
a pop
star.
artist. Yeah.
Like, and he makes pop music and dance music. He's not.
Yeah. Like, he's rapping, but his music is not hip hop music. Just because somebody's rapping doesn't make their music hip hop. Mm-hmm. Just like because somebody's singing, it doesn't make their music R&B. Mm-hmm. Like, get with the times. I don't think he was trying to be negative or derogatory towards Drake. He just said his feelings about it, that it's not hip hop. And it's not. It's literally fucking not. Yeah. Then people start comparing Drake and Mos Def, and it's like, first of all, you can't compare where you can't compete, okay? Mos Def is a hip hop legend. They have two totally different sounds. They make music for two totally different groups of people. Mm-hmm. Even though there may be a little overlap, generally, like, they have different audiences. And I feel like if they have different audience, different music, different sound, there's no point in, like, comparing who's better or not. I think that's goofy. Everybody can say which one is better to themselves personally. Mm-hmm. Who would you think was better though?
Hmm?
You think Drake better than Mos Def or?
I can't say that I have actually listened to Mos Def music, so I can't fairly make the comparison.
Wow.
I am a Drake fan. I'm a rap Drake fan. When he makes his hip hop, that's what I'm a fan of.
Okay. Well,
I do respect Mos Def. Mos Def is one of those artists where it's like, I respect you and what you're doing.
he's a great actor. He's a great rapper. He's a great songwriter, a great producer. He worked with Kanye on his earliest album, and he's contributed to a lot of other people's music as well. So,
yeah, Yasin
well, we can move on to the assignments. Where you at with your assignment? Is it going good, bad, not going at all? Where are we?
I feel like I may have been a little vague on my initial assignment or something. Maybe it wasn't meant to be my actual assignment because I can't remember it.
You could literally just go back and watch the end of the episode.
But I feel like I should be able to remember it, though.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
I'm redefining my assignment.
Okay.
I'm looking within, you know.
Going back to the drawing board. It'd be like that, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta recalibrate. Where am I? My assignments, I am realizing that I'm in a space of self-discovery. I talked to my therapist and she's like, maybe you should do some things to like figure out who you are right now. What's the vibe? What are you feeling? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? Just do a little self-exploration. I'm trying to find my sense of style again because I feel like I am different and my body's different. And I don't feel comfortable in all my clothes no more. So I don't know what to wear. I seen this post earlier today. It was by this creator. Her name is ShaKayla.xo. And she was talking about elevated casual. And I think I might be elevated casual.
Elevated casual. That sounds hot.
Yeah, it's like basically being cozy and comfortable, but it's not slouchy and pajama-y. It's like,
still bringing style to it.
Yeah. So I'm going to see what that's like for me.
I like that. I might steal that.
Okay. Then.
Yeah.
Well. Anything else you want to say?
Oh, you asking this time? I think that's it. Want to let you guys know that I put my YouTube channel in the description if you want to subscribe if you're into that.
Yeah, go subscribe. Go subscribe to me too. And follow the Treehouse Retreats. And congratulations to Quinta Brisson because she just got won an enemy. I cannot talk. An Emmy. And she's the second black woman to win the Emmy in that category, which is like lead actress.
Yeah, lead role in a comedy series.
Yeah, so
shout out.
Yeah,
she got money.
Love her down.
Yeah.
Well, without further ado,
I've got time.